Welcome to the second video discussing a ballet that I really like of Ballet Marvel. Or the second Ballet Marvel video. I don't know how to say that. What I said was good enough. Whatever. So the ballet I'm discussing tonight is Cinderella, which is the one ballet that I did not see the Royal Ballet production of. The version I saw is streaming on MarqueeTV. It's put on by the Dutch Ballet. And yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. So let's just get into it. I believe it's choreographed by Christopher Wheeldon, but I could be mistaken, so don't take my word for that. I will say I would not be surprised if it was choreographed by him because it seems to have a lot of his trademarks. Okay, so the ballet Cinderella. I kind of just watched this ballet on a whim when I first got MarqueeTV. I had watched The Little Mermaid and I wasn't really as impressed with that ballet. It felt a little disjointed, so but I still wanted to watch a ballet based on a fairy tale. I go through weird wants and needs at times. I just decide randomly what I want to watch. So I saw Cinderella. I'm like, what the heck? I'll watch that. And I was pleasantly surprised. I tend to be very lukewarm when it comes to Cinderella. There are a few adaptations I really like, and then the rest I'm just kind of like, meh. This one I actually did really like. I really like that they stuck to the idea of kindness, the theme of kindness, which I feel like the most effective adaptations of Cinderella use that theme. This is a very, very pretty ballet. It is gorgeous. The costumes are beautiful, and it's meant to be a pretty ballet. It does not try to, it doesn't make like any excuses. It's just like, no, it's a pretty ballet. Everything about the ballet reflects this. It's meant to be pretty. You're meant to kind of ooh and ah at it. And honestly, I did not mind at all. I swear to God, every Cinderella adaptation has this cough of death trope, and I could really do without it. Like, they have to like bump off her mom early on in the story for whatever reason, and I swear it's always the cough of death that does her in. So it's like, yeah, I kind of just, my eyes kind of glazed over at that point, like, oh, here we go again. This is definitely an adaptation of Cinderella. There's that cough of death. However, I did love how they showed the passage of time. So when Cinderella is going to visit her mother's grave, the ballet starts with a little girl playing Cinderella. And then after her mother passes away, it shows her going to visit her mother's grave. And as the little girl is walking, the dancer who plays Cinderella for the rest of the play, who's an adult woman, obviously, kind of walks until they're walking side by side. And then she gently takes the flowers from little Cinderella, and little Cinderella kind of stops and fades into the background as adult Cinderella continues on to the grave. And it's really well done. It's a very, very smooth transition, and I was really impressed. It was one of the things I liked most about the ballet. So Cinderella since Cinderella is a relatively simple story, it has very few characters, and ballets sometimes run into this problem when they're adapting different stories. They'll have a story they want to do that won't have enough parts for dancers. So ballet companies often have to get creative. And I love how frequently they go just off the wall freaking weird. Like, they get so fucking weird, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm always like, oh yes, let's get weird. This ballet is no different. It had to have some new roles so more dancers could have parts. I think Oh my god, I'm just remembering watching this with my best friend and her just being so baffled at one of the ways they got around it. They had the Fates, which were just these guys in weird ass masks, just standing around the stage. Like the characters don't acknowledge them at all, and they're just standing there. And then they like occasionally move, like they occasionally meddle with what's going on in the story. Um, and my best friend and I had no idea who they were until like the credits rolled, and then we're like, oh, they're the Fates. And it's just it's so fucking bizarre, but I loved it. I was like, yes, I love this. This is my kind of weird. I highly recommend looking up this ballet if just to see the Fates, because I guarantee you'll be sitting there watching the ballet going, what the fuck? The other thing they did to create more parts for dancers was they had season fairies. I loved it. I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I have a real soft spot for ballet fairies. I'm like, yes, please, just bring on all the fairies. I don't even care. They don't need a reason to be there. Just bring them in. This one had the season fairies, and they were so awesome. I love the season fairies. The winter fairies were okay. The summer fairies were pretty good. The autumn fairies were pretty good. But I think my favorite were the spring fairies, who were the fairies in green. Oh, they were great. I was like, oh my god, I could watch a whole ballet just of the spring fairies. They were so awesome. And yeah, at some point Cinderella winds up in the woods because she can't go to the ball, and the fairies just kind of have a party to cheer her up apparently. So yeah, she gets to watch the season fairies dance around, and it's a really nice little interlude in the play or in the ballet. Oh, this production did something I have never seen any adaptation of Cinderella do, and it worked so fucking well. And I was just so happy that they did it. They actually gave one of the stepsisters a redemption arc, and I loved that because I feel like one of the things about the story of Cinderella that kind of like doesn't appeal, like one of the reasons why I'm not as wild about the story of Cinderella is this whole kind of like pitting women against each other that I could just do without that trope. It's boring, it's cliche, I do not care. So like I never really liked that trope, and this one I love that they gave one of the sisters a redemption arc, and I love the complexity they allowed her. So the wicked stepmother is drunk, and I just she's hilarious. The dancer who plays the wicked stepmother is brilliant. She will have you on the floor laughing. She's just great. She's really, really good at playing drunk. And that sounds ridiculous, but trust me, folks, it's hard to play drunk. It's hard to play drunk and not be cartoonish. So, yeah, but the one stepsister like actually grows up, and it's a really great thing to see. It's not like the main story. You kind of gotta watch it toward the background, but it's like she meets the prince's friend. The prince has a best friend, which, by the way, the prince and his best friend dancing and playing together are fucking adorable, and I could watch a whole ballet of just them being adorable. But she meets the prince's friend, and I like that the prince's friend wasn't really kind of like into any of the kind of like high class suitors. I mean, I think there was definitely like a class thing going on, and he's like, oh well, I'm not good enough for any of these like noble daughters or whatever. So I'm just not even gonna bother. But yeah, he meets the stepsister, and they fall in love, and they actually have like a really cute little wedding, and it's worth watching the ballet just for that. This ballet is unexpectedly hilarious at times, particularly when it comes to the stepmother. Oh my god, the trying on the shoe, like trying to find the girl who wore the glass slipper. that is one of the funniest fucking ballet scenes I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Holy, one of the people who they try to fit the shoe on is a woman with a giant pigeon head. Just, it's so random, but it's so funny. Be forewarned, if you do watch this ballet, there's a really cringy scene of racism at the ball that I really wish had been cut out, and I don't understand how a modern production let it get past them. It's like, there's no excuse for why it's in there. So yeah, do be very aware of that. And I would understand why people would want to skip this particular ballet because of that. I was not happy about it at all. But yeah, that, obviously there's a happily ever after. I really love that the prince's friend and the stepsister get married about the same time as Cinderella and the prince. And yeah, and then everybody parties, and it's great. So yeah, MarqueeTV, the Dutch production of Cinderella. It's definitely worth a look if you like pretty ballets. Thanks. Bye.